Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. This is a Law Moms Lounge. I am Kate Lincoln Goldfinch.
I am Hannah Hembry Bell.
And we are, of course, Law Moms Out Loud. And we are bringing you this pre-Christmas, pre-holiday lounge show just to chat.
Kate, it's a Festivus show. Do you know what is Festivus?
I've heard the word, but I don't. There's no way I could define it.
Well, welcome. This is how we'll start with a little bit of a tutorial. So I'd always heard people say like Festivus, what is that? It's Christmas Eve. So today, as we're shooting this, is Festivus. Now, I think it originated in the Seinfeld episode with George Costanza's dad, and he has this. It's so funny. If you've not seen it, I'm sure to watch that episode today would probably cost you like $20 with whoever controls that. We have the DVDs at our house, but in his dad has this holiday that George grew up doing called Festivus, and this Festivus for the rest of us. And they have a thing where they do feats of strength, and the guy who plays George's dad, I think it's Ben Stiller's dad. Is that
it is?
He is so hilarious, and he screams like how him and the mom scream cracks me up. So anyway, it's Festivus. It's Christmas Eve. Happy Christmas Eve, everyone. Today.
And you're looking super beautiful today, Hannah, and you have your gorgeous necklace from Peru.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So this necklace was made by the lovely Chris that I met in Cusco on my trip to Peru. And she and I met in the market, and we had this whole story, and it's so exciting because at some point I invited her to come join the firm to help with our launch of the fully Spanish speaking team. We have the start of that. Chris is one of those pieces we're looking at for probably Q2 of next year. But anyway, I met Chris when she made this awesome thing cool. So you put it on your neck. It's like two pieces. You have to slide it on and put it on. So there are earrings that match that I couldn't really locate this morning, so I found some other ones. And anyway, I don't know how many of our people are real newsy people, but Peru is going through some stuff right now. I don't even want to try to summarize the whole drama, but it involves arrest of a president who tried to become a dictator. I don't have a political opinion on the matter, although I think, it sounds very drama. Nothing else. And so I was thinking today, and I have my ring I got also at a market in Peru. It's a feather. It's like a brass feather that I was wearing. So I was feeling very in my heart for Peru today. And Chris, if you're seeing this, I hope everything is going okay for you and everybody there. Peru, to me, have we even done a show where I talked about Peru?
Oh, I think we did. I think we did a Peru show.
I can't remember, but Peru to me was just such a special, magical place. And it is probably the place on the planet that I've been that feels the most at home to me in my spirit. And so the idea that my spirit's home is fighting with itself, hurts me.
I had my meeting today with the lawyers at my firm, and we were talking about, we got a bunch of new asylum cases in, and they were from, I can't remember which country, some other country would be an obvious asylum country, and Peru. And I said, Peru? What's going on in Peru? Because I have not been paying attention to the news. And then we were all talking about it, and it's really good, Hannah, that you got out when you did, because it sounds like a lot of the tourists have gotten stuck.
Well, and out. So Drew and I went to Machu Picchu, and to get out there, I don't know if there are other ways or what, but the way we did it is there's this train, which if anybody was following my stories, and I posted this very hilarious, it's not intended to be hilarious, very, I guess, intense is maybe the better word, play that the people who work on the train put on for you. And the train is you start the journey. So we went to Cusco, which is a town a ways away from Machu Picchu, but it's kind of the main bigger town near there. So you're going, it's plane, trains, and automobiles to get here. So you take a car with a guy to the place where you get on the train, and then you get off the car and you get onto the train, and then, you do all the hiking and everything. And then you take buses to get back to the place where the train is, and it's the whole thing. But this train, you're on the train by 7 a.m. We left at 3 or 4 in the morning. And you're on this train at 7 a.m. And I cannot here in real life convey to you how loud the music is for this play at 7 a.m. when you're all like, oh, I didn't have my coffee. I'm really tired. And then there's this insane dramatic play happening for you with the loudest possible music. Like cover your ears. I'm sensitive to like how loud things are, but
Me
even
too.
still, like so loud. Anyway, total squirrel. But this train with the very loud music and everything is the way you get out there. And the train, I think, must be government run because we were reading that the train was shut down. Now, I don't know if they let the tourists get back out of there, or I'm not quite sure. Maybe they all rode buses or what. But I feel so grateful that we went when we did and got to experience it. Yeah. And we were just fortunate that we weren't, down there trying to deal with how to get back out. It was such a special place with really special people that we met, just friends and everything about it. So I'm hopeful that it settles. So think about them today as we, are thinking about Seinfeld and Festivus also. Life has all the things.
This December, can I just say, like, what I've been saying to myself for the last several weeks is I am giving this month all I got. Like, there has been zero amount of, chill, post holiday chill. Like, oh, and people keep saying to me, like, my mom says this all the time, like, oh, everybody slows down around the holidays. And I'm like, this is the opposite of that for me. I am just on fire this month. And I feel like the collective energy is like that. I don't know if I'm alone, but.
No, I mean, for me, it's not really, I love Christmas and everything. My favorite thing is New Year. New year, new start. I've historically always like taken time to think about the next year. A new year is a good time for a new start. Something like that is what Gretchen Rubin, who I'm always talking about, she says. And for me, I guess there's some slowdown because I take the time to do that. And like, generally speaking in our law firm jobs, to some extent there is, but I'm right there with you. Like I'm leaving nothing on the table. Nothing, no sort of just chill coast into. I never feel that way before Christmas anyway, because historically we are a wrap Christmas presents on Christmas Eve family. Like the kids are like, are we going to get any presents? Like, I don't know. I guess we'll find out on Christmas Eve. But this year, I've told Drew he's the team captain of Christmas spirit at our house. And so our team captain has been having us, we turned the dining room with that, our big long table into Santa's workshop. So we just left out scissors and wrapping paper and all this. Although I keep remembering we don't have any bows. Like we don't have the bag of bows got used. I keep needing to remember to get some more. Anyway, and we wrapped them like ahead and every night. And Drew's like all done with his. And I, of course, last night I was like, I don't really want to do it. He's like, you're going to regret it if you wait till Christmas Eve and then you're going to complain because it's midnight. So even that, I don't feel super like, oh, it's Christmas, let's chill. With kids, I don't know. I don't ever feel that way. I always am like, oh man, I want to be that person and who like wraps each present with such care and, this pretty paper and puts a little thing on the top and the corners are just so, and I'm not. Well, one thing I did different this year is, so I did step 1 of a holiday card.
Okay. What's that? Oh, you got everybody's address.
Okay. This is so cool, y'all. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay. But you get this postable.com or something like that. And what you do, and I'd seen this where somebody had done it for their wedding invites or wedding save the dates or something, where they send you this text and says, hey, can I get your info? Then the person puts in their stuff, whoop, goes up to the internet, whoop, all of them live. And so you have this online database of your people's, and it also puts their birthdays and emails and everything in one place. So it's not like me. We have this. The only thing I've ever used for stuff like this is our wedding invite spreadsheet, where everybody's moved and all that.
Yeah.
And so this has it in there. So one day I got a wild hair and was like, okay. And we've been talking about really wanting to be like holiday card people. Okay. So I got my wild hair.
Your team captain, or who wants to be the holiday?
Well,
card?
It's our team captain. The Christmas team captain kept mentioning it, and I'm like, okay, I can do it. So I sent out all these text messages. But the funny thing was, I was sending this link, and it asked you for like a bunch of detailed information. And it's so funny because about half the people just did it without even thinking, like my lawyer friends, whatever, like, sure. The other half is like, is this really Hannah?
Yeah.
I need to like confirm. What's the last time we talked about? No. And I'm like, oh my God, I had to go back to all like 150, 200 text messages I sent out. I'm like, I promise it's me. It's not a spam bot from Russia trying to steal all your info. This really is me. Ha ha ha. Like, but really, how do I know? And I'm like, oh my God. So anyway, but what's really cool about it is that all lives up there. Okay. So then I did step one, got all of these people to do their addresses, which in the easiest possible way. I just spent, it really took probably at least a couple hours or so to send out all the messages. Then resend out the I'm not a spam Russia bot. And then the next thing was, okay, put a picture or something of we're not like have somebody come take Christmas pictures, people, at least not this year. The team captain may have new plans for next year, but this year historically we have not been like, let's go take family pictures and wear matching outfits kind of people. And then I went back to my phone. I'm like, Shirley, scroll. There's literally, because we have the baby too, right? So it's like when there's a family thing, I was like, oh, we'll go back to a Costa Rica trip, surely. No, because when we were all doing a family thing, Penny was with our au pair, best ever guy ever, Joao, or, so there's none of us all together.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang. Now my friend Jules, I don't know, Jules watches these sometimes. Hi, Jules, if you're watching. Jules and them did a top 10. So I saw her card came in the mail, which is so cool because like, oh, just pick 10 cool things. And I got that. We got 10 pictures of people doing different stuff. We could do that. So, but what we decided to do is I don't beat myself up too much about this stuff, just in case you're a mom or a lawyer, mom supporter or whatever watching this. Like, don't give yourself too hard of a time. Just let yourself off the hook. I let myself off the hook. I mean, I'm just doing the best I can.
I've never even pretended to attempt it.
Yeah, but here's the thing, is we're going to on Christmas Day. So our Paula in our life and Joao will be there in our whole like nuclear, I don't know what you call us, our family people. Is it nuclear? You know what I mean? The people who are like, I can claim all my taxes. Those people plus our other family members, Paula and Joao, we're going to do like some at home, some kind of picture.
Yeah.
That's our hope. And if none of those turn out, then I'm going to do top 10. It's going to be a New Year's card instead. Because I'm like, I went and got all these addresses. I need to do something with them. Yeah. So that's the plan. That is one of my new things I'm trying this year.
So I've never even thought about doing holiday cards.
You should. Y'all have such cute. Y'all look like the most Austinest family ever. Y'all could be like stock photo people on a Christmas card website.
But see, that's what I was going to say. We are good. Well, I'll speak for myself. I care about good family photos. And I know that like you saw, the only way you're going to get a good family photo is if you like coordinate it and hire a professional. And so I've done this for years. So we have a series of really good family photos, but I don't do anything. I print them out and they're all
Katie, you have those recent ones, even with Nama and Papa and everything, where y'all did on the couch. There's your Christmas. You just don't want to send out a card. Do that postable thing.
I should. I guess it sounds like
make it a New Year's card too. They can get mine and yours late. Law Mom's coming at you in January-ish.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, this is motivating. This is a project I can do. Because you
can do.
It turns out I hadn't given December all I had. I had a holiday card in me.
Well, you know what my mother-in-law did? Because we were always the holdup. She does a card and different pictures of the different people in our family. She's the best. And we were always the holdup. So I think she gave up on that. And instead, she's turned it into a Valentine's card. So she sends out like happy Valentine's cards, which I think is pretty cool. That's another idea. But the thing about the postable thing is, Katie, it has everybody's birthdays and emails. So then if you're really pro status, you can go in there and it'll tell you all the time when it's somebody's birthday and you can like send them a little birthday card.
Well, and like I was thinking about, I opened up all my holiday cards because I was gone earlier this week, which I have to tell you guys about. But I came home and of course everybody's Christmas cards had arrived. And one person sent me a holiday card for the first time. And I was like, how did this person get my address? And then I remembered that I had given them my address earlier in the year for something totally unrelated. And this person was so on top of their game, they added my name and address to their holiday list. So I guess if you have the postable thing, that's just something you can.
I think I'm going to do it for firm stuff too, because that way, like those people, I can send them a birthday card right? And it can come from the firm. Like my friend, like some of those people are friends and we're like worky friends, you know, and referral sources and stuff. So it can be a twofer.
Yeah.
I'm all about the twofer.
Or three
Like,
fur or four fur.
Three
Whatever.
for 4. Yeah, how much furs I can get.
Okay, I have to tell you guys about my holiday trip, which Hannah's gonna laugh because she was like, "This sounds like a nightmare. I can't believe you're doing this." But
As a precursor, well, yeah, you do, and then I'll give my tell the story. Tell it how it was originally planned.
oh, okay, you're right, because that was
Back up,
yeah.
back up to the thing, you know.
Okay, but I'm also giving myself a gold star. This is my
Oh yeah, gold star. Okay, my gold star I already did it. Is I have a bunch of people's addresses, and I'm going to send some kind of a card. That is my holiday gold star.
For anything. Okay, so here's the deal. So last year we went to Puerto Vallarta for like 2 weeks, and we had this amazing trip. And this year, you know, we had contemplated doing some big family thing, and it just was too much. I just couldn't handle it. And so our assistant, her name is Whitney. She's awesome. And she's with Queen of To Do. We're going to have a show just about Queen of To Do so y'all can learn all about
hail the Queenies.
Like
when we talk about the Queenies, that's who we're talking about, is Kate and her squad and Stacy and Whitney.
We love y'all. We love y'all. So so Whitney came to me and she said, I know you guys aren't doing a trip, but I hear about the Gaylord Hotel in Dallas, or it's in Grapevine. And they do this, you know, super Christmas. There's, you know, you can see Santa and there's snow tubing and ice skating. And I was like, I don't really understand how this works. I had never been to a Gaylord, but that sounds really Christmassy and awesome. And we can just drive there. And then we got my parents on board, and then my mother-in-law, Grandma Patty, who lives in Minnesota, she was flying down to meet us. And the original plan, which was bananas, was for us to go to this spa that we love. It's a Korean day spa called the King Spa, which is great. They have this water park attached, which, as it turns out, was sort of fell apart during the pandemic. So that part's not really available.
Wait, a water park attached to the day spa?
I mean, this place, like you walk up and it's these huge stairs with these giant lions, you know, like stone lions, and it's like King Spa, and it's just so ornate.
I've heard of it.
It's over the top. And, you know, it's very culturally Korean, so that there's like lots of rules about shoes and where you do what and what you wear and everything. And then the wet areas are separated by gender. And like you cannot wear a bathing suit in the wet area of the women's locker room. So there's like, you know, 7 different hot tubs of varying temperatures. And that's where people are getting all their treatments. And you have to be naked. Like that's the rule.
Do they have those paper panty things?
No. Like
just like literal, that's it. Well, because I went in Morocco, they have like a hammam, it's called. You wear these like paper panty things, like at the hospital, like kind of like hospital.
Oh yeah, no, they wouldn't. I don't even think they would allow that. And if they see you getting in the water and you haven't showered to their liking, like they'll come and tell you like you haven't washed your hair enough or whatever. Very easy to break the rules unintentionally. And so, and anyway, right before the pandemic, they built this big adjacent water park area where they had this huge pool with all these jets and like a sunken bar and mani-pedis upstairs and a big slide and lazy river. And it was really cool. It turned it from a spa experience into this like fun for the whole family situation. And so that's what
it's not the worst idea. Send your kids on the slides and you go to the hot tub.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. I mean, and they have all these saunas with different minerals and different temperatures. And it's cool. It's really cool. Highly recommend. There's one in Katy too. So we were going to go do that. Well, we did go do that and it was great. But the water park, I'm sure the business just, can you imagine? It struggled so much during
COVID. Yeah, no.
And then we were going to go to the Gaylord for a week. Like we were going to arrive on Monday and stay through Friday. And Hannah was like, you can pay me $10,000 to go do this.
Because Kate was like, okay, because Kate's like, hey, we're going to go to the Gaylord for a week. You guys want to come meet us? And I told her, I said, you could not pay me $10,000 to go with your crew, let alone adding my crew on top of it to the Gaylord for a week. The answer to that question is just a flat no.
Well, and
I don't like amusement parks. I don't like water parks. I have 3 big kids, you know, we have the baby. So I did it with my 3 big kids and Wet and Wild and whatever you call all those things. And the last time I went to a water park and I had to watch some kid and make sure they weren't dying or drowning or running off or drinking pee water or throwing their brother off the slide, I said, this is it. I don't care what happens to me in my life. I'm not coming back to one of these places. This is it. I'm never coming back. Poor Penny, if she wants to go to, and Drew is with me on this. If she wants to go to an amusement, Paula, are you saying you want to go? Okay, Paula's over there raising her hand. She's like, I'll take her. I'm like, and oh yeah, her like Aunt Megan has agreed to take her to Disney World someday. So like she'll go with others. I'm not Drew's with me. We're not no amusement park for us. So
listen, your child is not missing out. She's doing just fine in life.
I guess she'll be okay, little Petey.
Yeah.
But it was funny because it was like a week. I said, Kate, have you met yourself? You're going to go for a week to Snoopy, ice this. I want another candy cane. How come she took my snow? I want to ride this again. And why is the line so long? And when's breakfast and when's lunch? And what are we going to do next? And I was like, a week? Are you insane?
Well, and I'm glad we had that conversation because I was like, let's shorten this trip. So we ended up going Monday through Wednesday. And I will say it was all the things that Hannah just said. Like, yes, lines, people, I probably caught something, just like chaos, just children everywhere. And the Gaylord, it turns out I had heard about the Gaylord because
that's that Tennessee one.
Yeah. The people that went to the conference, they were like, what is this place? This is massive. Like you can't get a reservation for dinner. Like what is even happening? And it was totally like that. Like the night we got there on Monday, we went to the big area, like the convention area where they have all the wintry stuff, which, it's pretty cool for a Texan. But I was like, okay, what are we going to do for dinner? Because you're out in the middle of nowhere and I'm trying to book a reservation online because pro tip, you should do that, of course, before you book. It hadn't occurred to me. No reservations. There's nothing available. And so I was like telling my husband, I was like, you need to call the front desk and ask them, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, well, what do you want me to say? And I'm like, ask them how we're supposed to feed 7 people inside. Just like so frustrated.
Also asking for the number for Domino's.
But then like Tuesday morning we got up and they let the hotel guests in before the general public. So it was like quiet and chill. And we actually had some pretty magical winter fun. There was like these cool slides just made all out of ice. Like the ice sculpture thing was, you have to put these parkas on and go.
Those big blue jackets people post on Facebook, right? It's like a big blue thing. Okay.
Yeah. And then, we did like 2 nights and I was also because I'm, I wasn't really able to take a vacation with everything I got going on at the law firm right now. So I was working and pretending like I was on this family vacation while my kids were fussing at me for being on my phone. It was just like the opposite of relaxing for moi. However, my children had a magical, wondrous holiday time with lots of like moments where I could just see it that these were moments that they were never going to forget. So gold star for me. I would actually probably do it again, but maybe keep it to like 48 hours.
Yeah, that's what I was like, go up on day A, do the thing day B, half a day C, and drive back down.
Yes.
Like, oh, we can do things till 3 and then we have to go home. That would that's what was my recommendation for the entire thing. If you're going to do it, well, I think you definitely get a gold star, very mom gold star. Aw.
Not good for me.
So sweet. Next time I may stick Penny and Luke. I'm gonna stick all mine in the car. All 4, they're just gonna go with y'all.
I take Penny without batting an eye.
And Josh every year love to go to the Magic Ice place, and they love all the children. So,
and Penny will be the easiest one out of everybody, including the grown-ups.
I mean, she is the easiest. Well, okay. So do you have any like dominant thoughty things as this year?
Oh, your gold star was the Postmates. Okay.
Yeah. Postable.
Okay. My dominant thought, I am like, and I know you're probably in the same bucket as me right now, Hannah. I'll speak for myself. I got real about 2023 goals, and I've got goals for my law firm, for the amount of clients we want to help, for the way we want to do things. And when you get real clear about your goals, you start to notice the distance from where you are to where you want to be. And that's sort of what happened to me in the last several weeks. And so it started getting real clear about numbers and systems and all of that within the firm, and focusing on what needs to get done. And so we've been looking at our initiatives for quarter 1 and all the tasks that have to occur in order for those initiatives to happen, and communicating all that out to the team, and et cetera. So to distill all of that that's been going on behind the scenes into a dominant thought, it's that I am going to achieve my goals in 2023. It's happening. And to quote Hannah, something you said to me at one point, I was getting kind of nervous, Nelly, about something, which is a tendency of mine. And Hannah, you said, I can't remember if you were saying it about me or yourself, but I'm borrowing the words, like, I am a sure bet. You can bet on me. I'm not gonna not let this thing happen that I've got my sights on. So that's essentially my dominant thought right now, is going after what I plan to do next year.
Yeah, and I think to that point, whenever we're really up against something, and it garners some fear or nervousness or anxiety or whatever, we're at the edge of what we're comfortable with, right? And it's like, am I going to pull this off? And you're not honest, probably, or it's not far enough along in the stretch if you're not saying, am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be able to pull it off? And so that's one thing. And I heard that from somebody else, right? Like, I'm a sure bet this is happening. And the way I think about it, and I've tried to help other people think about this, I was actually talking to somebody yesterday considering an opportunity. And I was like, look, can you think of a time, and anybody watching this, all our mom friends and supporters, like, can you think of a time when you really set your mind to something for real and you were resolved to make it happen? You had made the decision to make it happen, where you put your back into it and you did the work, that it didn't happen or it failed. And like, generally speaking, anybody I'm talking to, they're like, well, no. Like, okay, well, you're not going to start failing now. You're not going to start now when you've really decided and it's really important. You're not going to start now with all of a sudden falling on your face. That's how I'm in the same spot, Katie, of thinking about for as far as the firm goes and everything. Like, we help people protect their kids, their money, and their business, right? And family law and estate planning stuff. And like, okay, we have certain things we need to make happen to be able to help the most people. And same thing of 2023. And you have to reverse engineer how to do that in the work now. And this is the first year where I'm very, very carefully, thoughtfully, with data, making those decisions and leading. Instead of that skate, like there's that one Will Ferrell meme where he's like popping open the beer and he's like, that sounds like a 2023 problem to me. Like, I know that feeling. And I've told the team, like, I understand the desire to feel that way, but hang on till at least after Christmas, because everybody's got to be all rowing in the same direction. So the thing that helps me a little bit is the idea of, yeah, I'm a sure bet. And also, I'm not going to like start failing at things all of a sudden. That's not going to happen. So getting into that energy is also, I mean, it's my dominant thought. It's probably, if you ask me this question in a month and 2 months and 3, I mean, it's going to be the same thought, just becoming, very focused, because I'm very squirrel, shiny, new, cool. This feels good. This is fun. I want to do that now. And I'm kind of bored with the system of this and that. There's no drama there. And that craving for sparkly new things / dramatic things / big stuff, when it's time for me to learn the lesson. And I was talking to somebody else about this week too. It's like how life is like a track, and you're going to learn the lesson. You can learn it now, or you can keep going around that track and come right back around again. You're going to learn it later, or nope, you're going to come. Okay, we're going to go back around that track. We ready now? Learn it again. I don't want to make another loop around the same track to arrive back at this same lesson of focus, how to focus down on something, how to get systemized, how to establish processes, to how to put the boring parts, and I say boring, I'm using quotes, like the boring parts together. That's where I'm at. And I think the way to do that is also just to me, I take such comfort in knowing that other people feel the same way, not because I want them to struggle, but like, oh, hey, people I know who I think are awesome, and there's no chance you're not going to do whatever you want, Kate, like, duh, to me. But to hear from you, I have to remind myself, I'm sure bet and write those things. And especially in those of us or anybody watching who's in the leadership role with a team or a business and people depending on you, it's like you gotta deliver and do for all of these people. And we've got an awesome team at the firm, and so do you, Kate, like all of your people.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all on a team making it happen. So that's definitely my dominant thought.
Yeah.
And what's interesting that I'm kind of like thinking about, I don't love this part, is I have not written any poems in a few weeks.
Oh, I have noticed that I haven't gotten any texts with them.
I know.
Are you not doing your late night?
Well, by the time I'm sitting down, I've had a different focus, right? Like when I say focus, I mean focus, so it's just the poems kind of come to me or bubble up and usually are derived from some very big emotional feeling. It's an outlet for me, right? To deposit an experience or a big thought. Or I mean, sometimes I just invent something, but like generally speaking, it comes from someplace.
Mm-hmm.
And at least at the moment, that's not happening. I don't love that. Right. Wait. And then part of me goes like, oh, I'm going to cry if I think about it. Like they're not gone. Right. It's not gone. My friend Laura was telling me, she's like, it's just like, hey, while you're focused on this is what you're doing. Time for poems and that part of you and that creative side and stuff later. Right now, this is the thing. So it's like having to just get real about and not have fear about that. Like the creative energy. And it's a different kind of creative energy. I don't feel in the same space in my mind when I'm looking at spreadsheets as I do when I'm, writing a
Oh, really? Huh?
Yeah, I know. Weird. I'm the only one clearly who feels that way. Some people though, they feel it different, right? Of like, they do feel that way. And I think spreadsheets, and that's the thing, like the poem I shared with y'all from the Big Magic book report anyway. Okay, sorry. Is the you can have art in your spreadsheets and like the creative, like the marketing and all the fun stuff we get to do for firms is that space. But for me, the poems are not happening at the moment. So I don't love that. And I can get a little bit afraid, like, oh, are they gone? But I'm sure that's not true. I think it's just because I'm accessing the part of my brain that's hyper focused on doing what needs to be done for our team as we, plan for 2023. And also accepting that part of the consequence of that is getting in that mind space allows room where I'm not in the middle of the other part. And that's okay. For now, there's everything, there's a season. Mm-hmm. And my season is not that at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, of course, your poetry is not gone. And surely it will be back. And I'm thinking about, like, I haven't had any space for really anything at all other than work and taking care of family. But, my creative outlet, I guess mostly my creative outlet is like outfits and dressing up. As silly as that sounds, it just isn't reality. Fun. It's just, I love it. But the thing about it is, I mean, it doesn't really, like, it's still necessary for every single day for me to get myself dressed and ready. So it doesn't go by the wayside. But those, late night moments with space to think and do, that's always been a time for me that I've wanted to do something other than what I do already, which is like veg. I like scroll on TikTok.
See, I did it last night. So last night, Joy was being super productive and wrapping presents. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go take a bath. I dug out some kid's bath bomb out of some closet. I was like, I'm going to go take a bath. I'm going to use the bath bomb. It's going to be great. But I scrolled on my phone. And then I was like, okay, I sat down in bed and we have the gas fireplace in our bedroom, which is like, I love that thing. Turn that on, lamp, such a cozy vibe. And I was like, oh, I'm going to read. It's going to be awesome. Instead, I scrolled on my phone.
Yeah.
Before I knew it was 11:15 at night. And I'm like, and I told Drew, as we were going to bed, I said, I didn't do either well. I didn't get the presents and stuff wrapped of the accomplishment. And I didn't realize I robbed myself of presents and actually enjoying the space I created for myself because I was scrolling on my phone. It was a big awareness for me of like, that ain't it. That doesn't feed for me. It doesn't feed me. And it doesn't really hurt me. It doesn't like create anxiety or anything like that in me, but I didn't use the time in a way that served me, be it on the, doing the presents and getting a task done, which is fun and spending time with my husband doing that, or reading and writing and having that experience. Instead, I did nothing. And I was just kind of woke up feeling about it and the whole thing. So I don't know. I mean, and I think the thing is it's space to feel. That's the difference. For me, that's where the poetry part and those late night things for me are about a space to feel. And when you're so busy doing and accomplish that kind of focus doesn't live in the same place inside of me that feelings live. So it's, I don't know if it's on off or, and probably like really super healthy people just kind of do both and come in and out of it. But at least at the moment, that's not the way that my brain.
I don't know. My guess is that most super healthy people like are really good at compartmentalizing, you know, and selecting what will serve them in the moment. And I also saw a TikTok when I was scrolling, and it was from somebody about like, okay, so here you are, you're scrolling through TikTok, and what you're doing right now is disassociating. You're leaving your world and you're entering in some other thing because this is easiest for you in this moment. I know. And maybe there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe what you needed was to just disassociate for a moment. And so keep scrolling and don't give yourself a hard time, or decide that this isn't what you want to be doing right now and go back. And it was just like, it was a really cool video. And so now I sort of think about that. If I find myself scrolling, I'm like, I'm aware that I'm disassociating from my reality.
Well, and that's the first thing, is getting aware of it. Like me last night, how I spent my time scrolling on my phone. And I was like, I don't like that. And that's the first step, is right. We go to being conscious of the hang on, sir. It's the one, remember the word talks about being like conscious, but not skilled at it yet. So it's like conscious of the thing and not yet having the skill. So it's like, I'm aware I'm doing this and I didn't stop doing it. Conscious incompetence. So that's the thing we were both doing. Is like, we're conscious and we're aware of this, but we're at the moment incompetent because we continue to scroll. But I'm resolved. For me, I'm trying to, like, I started charging my phone across the room. And also like at 10 p.m., the phone goes to bed, regardless of whatever else I'm doing. No more, because that's the moments where it can, all of a sudden you're scrolling. It's been 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour and a half. So by 10 p.m., put that thing down, and I need to be transitioning to bed. So that's one of the things I'm trying to do to become more competent. But what about reading? Are you reading anything right now or no?
Not really, but I started a book that everybody always talks about. You probably even read it, Hannah. It's called How to Talk So Kids Will Listen, and Listen So Kids Will Talk. Have you heard of that book?
No.
It's on the like top 5 list of every parenting book list everywhere. And I'm only like in chapter 1. But
hey, well, there you go. I haven't really ever read much parenting books, to be honest. I mean, I'm just kind of go with my gut feel, except as they relate to a little bit as they relate to divorce.
Oh yeah. Well, what I've gotten out of chapter 1, which seems obvious, but I found myself not doing it the other day, is to validate our children's feelings and experiences when they say something. Invalidating whatever they said or whatever they're experiencing is not helpful to them. And so it created an awareness for me. And it, like the other night, what was it that Winnie was saying, my 5-year-old? Josh and I were going out to dinner with his mother, and she really wanted to go. And I said, not tonight, honey, blah, blah, blah. And she said, you never take me to dinner with you. I never go anywhere with you. And like, that is absurd, you know? So I was like, are you kidding me?
Like, how many times last week? Literally, we just went to Snoopy dinner every day.
Yes, I was at Snoopy with you yesterday. And so then I started like arguing with her. That's not true. Da, 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 da. And it was like, wait, this is exactly what this book tells you not to do. So how you're supposed to respond in that moment is, I hear you, that it feels to you like I go out to dinner often and you don't get to come with me, and that you'd like to be able to come to dinner with me sometimes. Is that right? Like, that's how you're supposed to respond in those moments. So anyway, I'm becoming competent. So I'm still I'm a conscious incompetent on
yeah, I don't know if I'm conscious incompetent or this or that. I don't know.
What about you?
Well, so Kate and I share the best CPA of all time, Maddie Brown, who came on the show before. And she always talks about Jack Canfield,
Yeah.
who's the author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, or like a co-author or whatever. And I read those. I mean, I don't know. Was that a thing when we were in high school or junior high or whatever?
Yeah.
But she always talked about Jack Canfield. And I'm like, okay. I mean, she mentions him mostly every time we ever talk, which is very funny to come from your CPA, this like mindset guy, whatever. Anyways. And I was at the office and looked up to we have a bookshelf in one of the offices, which is a random assortment of different kinds of books. And I looked up there and there was Jack Canfield's book, something about success principles.
Yeah. I have it somewhere. I'm looking
at it. And it caught my eye. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know I had that. You know what? Maddie always mentioned that. It just kind of struck me. I'm going to pull that out and look at it. And then lo and behold, Maddie's office had sent me the book. Somehow I didn't know that, or it didn't register with me. And so I got to thank her for that, which was really great. But I started that, and reading, it's not something you want to you're not going to read it and just let me get through this book. It's a good one to have while you're doing something else and read a little chapter. It's super digestible. Yeah. And especially if you're not immersed in a world of goal setting and personal responsibility, all that stuff we talk about a lot. If you're not, I think this would be a super fantastic entry point. Because she's like, oh, if you just read the first chapter and then, pick up the other ones here and there, you can do it in any order. It doesn't matter, but read that first chapter. So what's the first chapter about? And it's about personal responsibility, about the idea that you are responsible, both good and bad, for your entire life experience, or at least the way you react, right? We can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we react to what happens to us. And so I was like, oh, that's so interesting, because for me, that concept, I am consciously, or I'm even at this point, the final stage is unconsciously competent, right? I don't even think about it anymore. That is the way that I think and act at this point. So it's interesting to think oh, I went from not knowing it at all at one point this year, having a vague sense of I'm responsible in a way of I'm a responsible person and I take responsibility when I mess up, a negative thing, all the way to, oh yeah, that's just how it is. I take responsibility for everything. So that was interesting as I read it. And then what I've also realized, though, is I need to kind of probably put it as my access every so often, read a chapter instead of my nighttime book, because I haven't been as go-to. Yeah. Yeah. Now, I just thought of this. Now, something I am engrossed in is this book that Marla, who's also come on our show, had recommended, Paul Selig, I Am Word, or I Am the Word.
It's good.
I mean, it's not for everybody. I'm just going to say that. It is definitely not for all of our friends and people watching and listening to this now or in the future on the YouTubes of tomorrow. It is really something, though.
Is it?
It resonates with me in a way that some other things have not. And the concept of having affirmations, he'll say I am, and kind of like in that the movie The Help, you is smart, you is kind and important, is an affirmation, right? About that you can say for yourself. And a bunch of super woo people have a book of my friend Taylor had a little notebook, even, and he was so funny, introduced me to all this stuff back years ago in law school. And I don't know if he'd call them affirmations, but kind of, you repeat these things. This book talks about them in a way and has some that actually somehow, I don't know if resonate is the word, or meant something, or struck me. I don't even know, but game changer for me, where otherwise I'm really nice and I'm smart and kind and all that stuff didn't hit me in a way of I don't really want to make a notebook of a list of things to say like that. I don't know. It just never was something I ever felt compelled to do. People would tell me to do it and just never felt like anything. I don't know. I don't get it. And the way that this book addresses it does.
Okay.
I don't know quite how to even.
Yeah. I mean, he's coming to Austin. And so and I got tickets for that.
Yeah, we're going. So. But it's a book if you're interested in anything about spirit and spiritual stuff and channeling and all of that world. If any of that means anything to you and you would like to know more, you may ask me. Just send me a message, or if my real life French person text me or whatever. I said, just swing a stick on the internet and you can find us. And it's something. It's life changing. Now that, but it's also one of those things you take in chunks. Like you're not going to just sit and listen for 3 hours necessarily. I listened to it on the way when we went to East Texas last weekend, on the way there and kind of back. And in my head, even when I talk about it, it's just sort of like, okay, woo, way of thinking. Okay, you can get it and see what you think.
Yeah, no, I'm totally gonna listen because I've shared this with y'all before. Like I'm an interesting blend of a open-minded skeptic, and I always have. I become more of a skeptic when someone is claiming to channel, And so there's this book, Conversations with God. Have you heard of that book?
I mean, it sounds familiar. I don't know.
It says, there's a series of books, and it's this guy who had a conversation with God, and it's the conversation. And it's like, it's just so hard for me to like set aside my disbelief when I experience most channeling stuff. But it's something that I'm also trying to get over. It's like there's some level of skepticism that I think is healthy and protects me. And then there's some level of it that I really ought to be able to set down at this point in my life, that I don't need quite so much protection. I can go ahead and start, believing stuff, and I'll have access to more cool things if I can do that. So that's what I'm
not a skeptical person. Think about it.
I wasn't raised in a religious or a spiritual home. So I was quite the opposite. My paternal grandfather was a missionary in South and Central America for 60 years. And so the pendulum had kind of swung the other way, let's say. And so I was raised in a home where just, sort of belief and certainly dogma was not something that we did. And so that was just sort of ingrained in me. Maybe that's what it is. And I don't know, just my nature too.
Well, if any of that sort of interests you or you don't know what we're talking about, then just like skip. But that it is really something. If you're in that world, and you probably already know then this guy, and you're like, duh, this is 101 what to do. But it's pretty cool. Well, okay. So I think this is our last show of the year. And as we plan out 2023, we'll have more info and details on that to come. But you know what? It's been a fun year.
Yeah, it really has. We've done a lot, and we haven't even talked about the retreat, but the Law Moms Out Loud retreat was phenomenal at the Lake Austin Spa. Everything went off without a hitch. Paula and Tara, especially, y'all did so much hard work on that, and Hannah really carried the load on planning that, and it was very swank and swag bags, and
it was awesome. If we do a retreat next year, believe me, anybody who's watching this, you're going to want to come. It was so special. It was everything that we hoped and planned it would be, and more for real. Really great. We're just so lucky in Austin, where we live in Austin, to have such an awesome community of women who are moms or dog moms or whatever kind of people, who are there to get to know better. And then we had people from around the country who came, and we were so I mean, I guess inspired is a word, but inspiration kind of wanes. It's like it was moving. Maybe that's a better way to say it. It was moving to me.
It was. I mean, getting a bunch of women together who are honest with each other and themselves about where they are and where they want to be and all of that. Like, it's a wonderful experience.
Well, that's today, right, Kate? Like, truth is, Kate and I were like, because we had something else planned for today that didn't end up working out. And so we're like, do we want to do this today? And we're both kind of like, our brains are focused and doing the other stuff. And like, you know what? Just show up and just be and say what is the real deal. And this is, the real deal. So thank y'all for anybody and everybody who's supported us this year, shared, liked, posted, commented, been with us on this journey that we started, just sort of two ladies up here at my office where I am right now, with a hunch. And thanks for following our hunch with us. It's been awesome. It's been so much fun. We've met some really cool people and done some really cool stuff. So we're really grateful for all of your support and just taking a minute to listen and hang with us. And
we'll see y'all.
It's been great. Yep. So happy 2022. Merry everything. And I hope 2023, I know we both do, it just kicks off as such a smash, but a sustainable smash that sets you up really well to achieve and experience and be and do and have everything in your wildest dreams that could be for you in 2023. So
There
we
we
love all of y'all. Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.